Peace and wisdom, Sir Jones, and everyone else. Give you all a chance to get in here. Let me dim this light. It's too bright. Too dim. This is alright. Can I get a sound check if you guys don't mind? Today I want to do this video explaining what awakening is all about. And this has to do with the great secret, the one thing that man is distracted from. So, hopefully everyone's in a good place, mentally and emotionally. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss the live videos when they air. If you do, of course you'll have to become a channel member to replay it. Peace and wisdom, Joshua Hall. Of course, if you guys have any questions, y'all can ask. Oh, visit the website. My lecture magazines are there, as well as the conscious cleansing kit. I may pull it out later. But my lecture magazines, as well as the conscious cleansing kits, are there. You can also pay for a one-on-one consultation there as well. So check out the website, wiseservant.org, upscaleknowledge.org. You can also click the description. You can click the title of the video, and my links will pop up. Now, you guys said I'm clear. Like I said, I want to do this video. Peace and wisdom direction. I'm glad you're aware of that. Make sure you lock in. There's a lot in the world that we get lost into. And so as I evolve in mind, becoming wiser and wiser, there's many things that I notice that I didn't notice, but did notice. And so here's a jewel for a lot of you guys who are on the accurate path. If you're lost into religion, gangs, this group, that group, so you're still lost into the world, society, things of that nature. But for those of y'all that are on a path, understanding that the only way to God is through self, not the world. And so one has to be still. At some point realizing, the word God itself is a society thing. And knowing this word, it's more than just a word. And so the main thing most of you guys have to grasp is your pain, your hurt, it's attached to people and environments. And so in order for you to grow or be on a perfect path, where you can receive the happiness and joy and things that you want, you have to do an inventory on your life and start to, remove the things that bring the self down. And so, of course, cutting people off, changing environments, things like this, that's the hardest thing in life to do, truly. Most are not even aware of it. We have a mind like, I can change and still have the same people from my past. You can't serve two masters. You get my point? And so a lot of you guys have changed self, but you're not receiving the change because you're still attached to, your past from the perspective of people. And those people have to get to a place where they understand, life is a balance, a fair thing, an honest thing, or an honor thing. And so everything has to make sense in your life. Everything has to align. You get my point? A lot of you guys have your devil right next to you. It's your best friend. But you get it? You have not got to a place where you've become aware. And that's not to say your friend is a bad person. Their morals and the way they see life is according to how you used to live. And so do you get my point? You want to stick by your friends in their ways and things that they're doing, but this contrasts with your reality, in your growth, in your receiving from that growth. And so you get my point? Many people change their lives for no reason because they don't change it all the way, meaning put every piece of the work in, every aspect. Thank you guys for the give back, direction, unknown concept, and everyone else. I was meditating earlier today and last night, doing some deep reflections, making sure everything in my own life, is measuring up because I felt a little weight. And this is going to happen to you, throughout your growth in your path. There's always going to be things to come, maybe try and knock you off or knock you back. And so, like I said, every day you have to reflect on self, kind of do an inventory, make sure everything is still going where it needs to. And so, like I said, I was doing some reflecting and some adjusting. And it's a deep thing, You feel kind of renewed. And so your energy is, a lot different. Not your energy, but the energy you receive in. Meaning y'all energy feel different to me. And so maybe y'all negative energy was a reflection of a negative energy I was holding. You get my point? The point I'm making is you have to, get every aspect of the self perfectly aligned in that way. Meaning the atmosphere, the environment has to serve self, as well as the people in your life. When I say serve you, I don't mean like a servant. I mean you're living on the right track, and so you need everything in your life to be living on that same track. You're happy, but the people you associate with, they live a life that brings them sorrows. Now you adopt that sorrow, but that's not for you. But because you can't separate, or because you still serve two masters somewhat, do you get my point? And so a lot of you guys are at a place where you get my point. You've removed all your own personal sorrows and your own personal hurt and pains. But now you still have others who live, a life that brings them sorrow and pain. You can't live dishonor and unfairness and not expect to, you get my point? Reap that harvest. And so if you living on the right track and your buddy, let's say, is living in the streets, and then your buddy gets arrested or something, and now you feel that sorrow because you didn't, get everything in your life aligned. And because of that, your buddy probably, a lot of you guys can change people's life just by putting some initiative, putting your foot down and saying, I'm not tolerating that. You either gonna get on the level, or here's where our road ends. And it was good having you as a friend, and it ain't a matter of beef or nothing. It's just a matter of, you get it? You become wise, you become aged or matured, and you get my point? You don't want to take on other people's hardships and they harvest. Especially if you've been working to cleanse self and keep everything on the up and up. And so just take those little jewels, for those of y'all that's, trying to grow and get your life in order. It's not so much about society, meaning y'all get lost into religions and this thing and that thing, and you try to change the life and make the self better according to those things. Fairness and honor, and living by that, meaning applying that to anything you do or any decision you make. Is it fair, and am I being honest with myself in what I'm about to do? This will keep a lot of you guys out of trouble. This will, like I said, a lot of you guys flip flop around. You got to get stern and kind of not be ashamed of the life you want to live. You may have served a life that's completely opposite of what you want to live, but you still want to measure up a little bit. You have to come to a place where, you get it? You're not ashamed, where you could just speak out. Like how I'm doing. I speak out. You either on my bump or you're not. But in terms of like, the streets and stuff like that, I'm done with those things. And that has to be, crystal clear in many people's minds. And if you on that path of life, I'm not judging you. But you get my point? You gotta come to a place where you can see for yourself, this life has not served me or anyone, and whoever is stupid enough to be talking about this or promoting this or living this is a goddamn fool. And whatever they want to do with themselves is their own problems, but I have a life I have to live. We all have to evolve beyond the state that we're in. Meaning a lot of you guys are living physical, a lot of you guys are living hell for your sins right now in the flesh. Meaning you burning. Let's say you was what's the proper word? A Jezebel when you were a younger woman, and so now you are kind of living up the ends of that now. You get my point? And there's a lot of turmoil within. You're living in your own hell. You may start drinking or whatever to cope with these things. And you get my point? You have people living their hell for their sins right now when they don't even realize it. You get my point? You waking up every day and you knowing like I'm going through inner turmoil. And you get my point? Never becoming aware to say, damn, this is my hell for all my sins that I've been doing now. Heaven and hell ain't like, you don't gotta look at hell or anything in life as subjected to one place. Like, oh, I have to die to go to hell. Everything is everywhere. You get it? Heaven, hell, whatever, however you want to view these opposites of good life and bad life. They're everywhere. And so a lot of people are living their hell right now for their dishonor, their unbalance, their imbalances. And they stay on that frequency, meaning they still serve imbalance and dishonor, not being aware of it. And in that, they add on to their sorrows, but can't see why the life is not like they want it to be. It has to do with that. One has to start to become aware. And like I said, get everything in order. Hopefully that's clear and y'all grasp what I'm saying. And take these jewels and apply it to self. Meaning if you lost into religion and these many things, well, these is the things that I'm speaking of that one has to conquer. You get my point? And you got things harder than that. Meaning y'all are attached to these things because of people. So at the end of your road of change, you're talking about people. You could change what your occupation is. You can change your environment. But the last and most hardest thing is going to be the people. Which is everything. The life y'all have to do with the people y'all associate with. That's the reality. And so, this is when self-growth gets tricky. But when you start to live, the right way, a lot of things will be removed from you just on their own. You get my point? It's like the dirty don't like the clean so much, or they feel ashamed around what is clean. Think if you're physically dirty, you don't feel so comfortable around clean people. You like, I need to get myself together. So your cleaning self will do half the work. Meaning a lot of bad, dirty things in your life will remove themselves. People and, just everything. Peace and wisdom all out. I see you grasp Joshua Hall, different angles. And so start applying these jewels to yourselves, meaning finding God, like I always tell you guys, finding God and finding self is it's the same thing. Y'all don't know either. You get my point? And so growing or coming into your own self, the perfection of self I'm speaking of, where you're kind, honorable in your ways, fair, so on and so forth. When you start to grow into the perfection of yourself, this is your becoming closer to God and closer to knowing and seeing God. To believe in God and what you heard is not the same as knowing God. And so you see my point? Being lost into society, so you believe in God. And you ask people, do you believe in God? This is acknowledgement that you have yet to know, or yet to have, come into proper understanding. Because believe doesn't make any sense. You get my point? I don't say I believe in my mother. You know your mother, you know this, you know that. Nothing boils down to I believe in. And so man has to mature or evolve as a mind and become aware of these things. Hold on, belief don't got nothing to do with the truth and the fact or none of that. Belief is just me picking what I like. You get my point? Belief, huh? Belief have to do with children's tales. And so many people don't mature as a mind to come to realize that. Hold on. If I'm speaking beliefs in things, I'm speaking child's talk. I should know. And I shouldn't have to lie or make anything true. It should be on its own. And so if you can question a thing, y'all know what truth is, and y'all know when a thing is not right all the way. And so this is what, truth is all about. It has to do with self, being truthful with self. Once you get there, then you can be truthful with the world, because you're going to spew out whatever's within. And so a lot of y'all have not gotten to that place of truth where you can look at a thing and say, I don't care who this is supposed to belong to, or if the whole society's going with it. That is not right. I don't care if it's one part or the whole thing. If there's a piece that's not right, so you get my point? Good is perfect. Perfect is, good. And so grass, now let's get to this deep video, explaining to you guys how everyone's trapped in a day. Most of you guys are lost into society, the world, and everything in it. Your girlfriend, your job, your religion, having sex having sex on Pebbles Beach. Man's lost in everything, in the world, society. He doesn't realize that he's trapped in a day. Meaning you guys come and go from this day or this world. Never escaping it. Time going on and on. Y'all get old and wrinkled like California raisins. Never becoming aware. Oh, shit! I'm in a movie. The Twilight Zone. The sun rose and set yesterday, and here I was. The sun rose and set every day up into today, It's been the same day. Yes, I've aged. Yes, I've went here and there in the earth. It's the same earth, though. I haven't gone anywhere. I fall into unconsciousness and I wake back up in the same place. Over and over and over and over and over and over. If you 50 times 365, this how many days you wake up to the same place. Sometimes you go unconscious and you wake up in dream. Same place. Meaning when you're dreaming, so is it not physical life or what you call earth? Yeah, like that. Man has to grasp this thing goes deeper than this earth or this physical day, but this has to do with, like I said, you go unconscious and wherever you regain it at, you're always in the same place, earth. Like I said, when y'all are dreaming, from perspective, well, where are you? You was on earth, right? You was in places you familiar with, seeing people you're familiar with. Even if you're not familiar with them, you know where you were. Meaning your dream realm in physical life ain't no different in perspective, in terms of place. This is why I was explaining to you guys how dream and physical life is the same place. Physical life is just all the dream places manifested. All the dream places y'all ever been to, earth. And so man is bound to a day. There you go. We repeat the same day. Does day and night resist one another, having anything to do with this cycle? For some reason, your mind is not mature enough, or you're just too lost into the world to get what is being said. So you're talking about day and night. You have a room. You're stuck in that room. You sleep in your bathroom, you wake up in your bathroom. And you go to sleep and you wake back up in your bathroom. Who cares if you cut on a light or cut it off? Now you're lost because your bathroom is a big place where you can travel seas and all of that, but it wouldn't matter where you go, you in the same bathroom. Is that clear? Meaning, do y'all get this? Y'all are fucked. I don't think it's really clicking. You can go unconscious, you can die 50,000 million times. You always wake up here. When you go in a dream, you're here. When you die, you say, oh, whoop-de-doo, this ride is over, and you, just like when you go to sleep and you wake up and dream in this earth, your afterlife is basically dream, larger scale. So you wake up in your afterlife, which is going to be like earth. It's like I say, man has many days in life. If you're 20 times 365 is how many days you've been here. You know, waking up here. However many days that is, when you die, you will live out those days. Look at that as a repeat or a reverse. All the days of your life and you're not being aware that you're just trapped here. They make for your afterlife. And so man will live out every day of his life in his afterlife. Every moment, every desire, every addiction, until it fades out. Or until, fading out meaning until he grasps. None of that, nothing. I'm stuck. And I'm stuck because I keep doing a whole bunch of other things. If y'all removed everything in life, television, buildings, games to play, and y'all removed everything, and you looked at this world naked of everything that man has added to it. So we talking buildings and anything you know that's man-made. If you remove all those things, y'all will grasp clear as day. Oh yeah, this is scary. Stuck. That part. Ain't no calendar to tell you, oh, this is another day. So from your perspective, you say this is the same day. That part. Now the calendar's a lie. That's just a book. Tomorrow ain't gonna pop up and say Sunday's here. Tomorrow gonna be the same day as today. When I say day, I'm speaking the place. Y'all think a day is a calendar page, a whole bunch of stuff. A day is Earth. Now here, just one day. Yeah, you've convinced yourself there's 7 different separate days and 12 separate months and a whole bunch of years to come, but ain't none of that real. Man made that up so he don't have to deal with this one fact. I'm stuck here in the same day, and even when I leave in my mind, I come back. That part. And so if you feel like, oh my God, life is, yeah, maybe you waking up from your dream. I said physical life was a dream. Grasp? And so this is what awakening is all about. Meaning man sleep and live in a place called physical life, but it ain't nothing but dream manifested. He can't wrap his mind to grasp that. He made so much stuff in physical life, he distracted and confused his own self. And so that's where we are. Y'all have God, devil, so many different things. And Mickey Mouse. But none of that got nothing to do with the one lying fact, which is y'all trapped in a day. That part. And so you got to start there. I'm stuck. Me, I got all these stories I picked up in this place, but aside from that, I'm going to be going to sleep tonight and waking the hell up here tomorrow and the day after and the day after. And if you get shot in your head tomorrow and die, you going to wake up in your afterlife, it's going to be Earth. That part. One of your days. And you going to go unconscious in the afterlife and wake back up in your dream. Physical life's going to be gone, so all you're going to have is dream to wake up in. Or your afterlife. And that will be, for quite a while, man has lived many days where he didn't grasp, oh, I'm stuck. And so he will live his afterlife in that same way. Going to sleep and waking up. Talking about this is a new day. It's deep. But y'all will live all these things out in the afterlife. That could take for eternity. That part. And after y'all come to realize, man, I'm still stuck in that day. What is going on? I thought I was dead. What the fuck? Because this is the reality souls go through. They live their life repeatedly coming to earth. Then they die and they be like, yeah, the big finale's coming and the same shit keep happening. They go to sleep and wake up in a dream, which is just earth to them. And at some point they become aware of that and say, hold on, I'm dead and I'm still going to sleep and waking up in earth. I don't care where I'm at, it's still earth. A place in it. And this is when all becomes dark. That's the unconsciousness. Then men get to see the truth. That's all there is. And dream and physical life was built on top of the darkness or the unconsciousness. And all man truly got is that darkness. And so man to be fully aware and conscious in his unconsciousness or his darkness. Then he has to realize if it's dark all around, it's because you are dark. Same way men have to grasp this in physical life. If it's dark all around you, it's because you dark. And so men have to transcend that darkness. Meaning, man have to transcend his unconscious mind. It's what keeps him bound to the vessel. It's what keeps him bound to the day eternally. Until he can grasp that. And so, all there is y'all unconsciousness that y'all have to transcend into awake. You got awake, physical life. You got dream, that's a state of awake. Then you got that dark state, that part. Look at it like a gambling game. You got to get all three of them shits on awake. And you better make that happen before all that's left is the darkness. You have physical awake and you have dream awake, and then you have unconscious. That's 2 to 1, but you're going to lose the physical. And you're going to lose the dream. Then you fucked. You get it? Man is awake. He got 2 awarenesses, 1 blink, but he have enough to grasp. He have enough to overcome the darkness. But he cannot grasp what darkness is. And all that goes with it. Like the false life y'all live, street lives, gangs lives, religious lives, everything of the world, keeping bound to his darkness. He's speaking his mind state, his soul, that's all he is. Meaning his ak keep flying or coming and going from his darkness. That's his body. But when that deteriorates, his unconscious mind is the foundations of that body, the first body. And so that don't go nowhere, meaning that don't die. He have to transcend that, or he have to just be stuck in it. And so all of this can be accomplished while one is physical, living out his physical heaven. It's a deep thing. Are y'all following, or is this a little too deep? If you scared to ask questions, it's my fault. I know I'm a little rough. I'm working on that. Y'all work on getting wiser. Now, let me go a little deeper. An egg, meaning like how a woman has an egg. Peace and wisdom, lion Zion. Salam, shalom, good brother. Now, you know how a woman has an egg cell or a chicken egg, The egg. An egg, earth, all the world, one and the same, and a body. So an egg cell or an egg, earth, and a physical body are all the same thing. I'm saying this so y'all can grasp life. Yeah, this ain't written in no book, so you have to remember this and grasp. An egg, any egg you talking about. The earth of the world we live in and a physical body are all the same thing at different stages of development or different perspective. Meaning, an egg evolves into a body. And that egg, of course, that evolves into a body is a world to all that's in it. So, in our world, there's a rising, setting sun, there's planets, so on and so forth. Solar system. star system, our world. So it's the same inside your body. You have your planets or your chakras that align with your spine, and the consciousness arises and sets from above to below. When it goes below, this is when y'all go out. When it raises to the central brain, this is when the eyes open and y'all can see. You get my point? One and the same. Meaning in exhale, the world, and the body are all the same thing. So in a nutshell, our world is an egg cell or a body, meaning we live within an egg or a body. And that's what a world is. It starts as an egg cell, it evolves into a body. Internally, it's a world. On the external, it's a body. And there's a God of it, the spirit or soul that rises and sets in it. So there's many worlds or bodies and many gods over them. You get it? And so it doesn't stop here. Like I said, the world that we live in is a body. And the rising, setting sun y'all see is the consciousness of the soul or being in it. No different than it is on your level of life. And so our world and our body in an egg are all the same thing. And this is a day, and this is what I was explaining that you're trapped in. Meaning the day ain't just a calendar page or how you perceive it. It's a physical body, that being the world, or an egg. Now, in ancient Egypt, or when you're thinking of Egyptian text, of course y'all are thinking of a country. Egypt is pronounced egg. I'll say that again for those of y'all that can't hear clearly. Pronounced Egypt, not Egypt. Pronounced egg to yourself, and then you will feel every syllable of Egypt. Egg. You can see it. Egg. Egg. Eagle. Egg. Get it? Meaning they was cold-blooded in the past. And so Egypt is really pronounced egg. The eye of Ra is an egg. This is why you have the chicken behind it. And then you have the serpent. It's to say like sperm cell gets egg. A conceived egg is the world. Or Egypt. If you pronounce egg and you write every syllable you feel, so you will be spelling out Egypt. Egg. Egg. From the opening of the mouth to the closing of the lips, you will see, oh shit, it is Egypt. Or Egypt that I'm saying. Meaning say Egypt and then egg. And you're going to see, oh yeah, same word. That part. And so Egypt is an egg. And an egg is our world. Meaning Egypt, or ancient Egypt, is the early world. Remember, a world is a body, but it starts as an egg cell. Our early world is Egypt, which is to say egg. Is it clear? Does everything make sense now? And so, we're not speaking of a country, meaning y'all know the country Egypt. That's patterned after life, like what a world is called. And a world is an egg, meaning an egg evolves into a body is a world. You have millions and billions of cells within that egg. It evolves into a body or a whole star system, you can say. You still have the multitude of life within it. It's a world, an egg. And so Egypt is not speaking of that country that y'all know of. It's speaking of the early world, the whole world. Our world being a star system. You get my point? And so I'm going to read from Revelations 11:8, so I can show y'all something. Now, Revelations 11:8, it says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt." If you grasp what I just said, Egypt is pronounced egg, and egg is our world, then you can grasp when it says, "And the dead body shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where where also our Lord was crucified." So many people think, oh, Jesus was crucified in that country, Egypt. No, the Lord or Jesus was crucified in the world being an egg. So think like this. If you can grasp Jesus is the substance of life or the spirit of life, this is your seminal fluid. This is the only substance of life y'all know. And then you have the egg that this substance is brought to. Then you can grasp when it says, "And their dead body shall be in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." Meaning this is a woman's, what do you call that? A woman's reproductive system. If you understand, Jesus is the substance, seminal fluid, that raises all the sperm cell up from the dead state that they're in. They're all covered in the yolk or the substance of life. So now they have life again. One of them gets the egg. Now, of course, the sperm cells, they go to below, meaning you have a body, you have germ cells or sperm cells below. Whether you're a man or woman, the oocytes that make the egg cell, these are your germ cells. So sperm cell gets egg. The egg is the body, the sperm cell is the reproductive stuff that ends up below. Are your fallen angels that were raised up from below, and they will end up back below. You get it? When the body develops and you have the full formation. But until that stage, they will roam the earth and do as they choose, the earth being an egg. You get it? Remember, when sperm cell gets egg, then the chromosomes within the sperm come together or come into the chromosomes in the egg. The sons of God coming into the daughters of man. Daughters of the earth, matter, menses. Not so much man, but the sons of God coming into the menses. And of course, in the menses, you have the body of man. Mankind, that is. The egg cell is the precursor to that. So you have the fallen, the egg, and then the spirit of life that the fallen is covered in. And that substance or spirit is what's bound to the egg or Egypt. And so this is why Jesus is described in that way or depicted that way, so that it can merge perfectly into where this really happens at. And so technically we are all the Christ. The Christ is to say the sacrifice bound to the world being the body. You get it? Your body, the world, it's the same thing. As above, so below. And so the spirit of life is bound to the clay, or the menses, or the egg, Egypt. And so we are technically that. The Christ sacrificed or crucified to the vessel, now lost in the world. You get my point? And becoming one with the world, which is basically a death thing, a dead thing. And so the way to God, like I said, is through self, not the world. Not the desires of the body, which is the world, and definitely not by anything that you get from the world. You get my point? Whatever you see those in life falling into, and you know this only has to do with society, has nothing to do with outside of a city or a country. They don't know nothing about your religions in blank nature, where there is no civilization built. A civilization being society. That's what man did. That's his lie, to distract him from the truth that he must evolve beyond, or his truth being he lives this lie. And he has to evolve beyond that. That lie being, he don't want to deal with the fact that he bound to a day. That part. He comes and goes back and forth over and over for his whole life, unconscious to earth, or a day, which is the world. And that we speaking of a body. Are y'all still following? I don't want you guys to get confused. And so, I'm not saying this so you guys get lost into Christianity, because that's a thing of the world. I'm using the book to show if you are a Christian, you have no clue what you be reading. The book has nothing to do with the world or society, your religion being a part of that. The book is speaking about y'all. The book is not saying this spirit of life that sacrificed is God. It's saying it's being portrayed that way, but truly this thing is you. Or you are a physical reflection of this thing. And that part. And you being worshipped as a God, your sacrificing is. This is why y'all say in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Because it's all about Amen worship. You know, the ancient Egyptian god of the Duat. It starts with Amen. The self-manifested. And so you get my point? YHWH. This is how it's pronounced you. YH, yeah. WH, woo. Put it together, you. Y'all know how to sound out words. The thing is, the world told you to add letters, meaning whatever goof bag that you like to listen to. He told you that. He said if you add an A, then it's your how. You get it? You got that from the world, though. You didn't get it from self and say, let me do what Silas said to do and use my own brain. Now, those are letters. I learned how to sound things out in school. What does that say? And so that's the true teachings of what y'all call this God thing. It has to do with you. Y'all lost into society, which is an exploitation of you. And so in that, you get exploited into all kinds of stupidities. Worshipping your own death. You being the extension of the first death. The first spirit of life being bound to the world. So is that. And so do you get it? Get out of Christianity and come to terms with whoever's lost into it that you're bound to. You're doing it for them, because you get my point? Other than that, you're worshipping cattle, meaning you're worshipping the killing of man and the eating of his flesh. Basically ancient sacrilege. And so Jesus is bound to a cross or a stake. And this is how you cook meat in the past before stoves. It's the same way you cook meat now if you're out in the camp and don't have a stove. You get a steak, which is a wooden stick. You either make a crucifix out of it or you just leave it as one individual stick and you stick it through the thing's ass and out the neck. You put it over the fire. You want to get a good cooking where you cook it evenly in and out. Then this is where your crucifix come into place. It's a cooking instrument. It has nothing to do with punishing man. Man gets stoned in the past. You feel me? Then after that he get put on crucifix or whatever. That's the cooking part. Y'all still eat man. Y'all don't know what that is in the supermarket. You weren't there when they slaughtered that cow. How you know that's cow? That part. It's like I told y'all before, all meat the same once you take off the skin. Beef, beef, chicken, chicken, and pork, pork. And all meat you know of, meaning anything that's flesh, once you take off the skin, it's going to fall into one of the three. Man, beef. Well, melanated man is beef. White people are like chicken. I'm not being funny. Meaning if you ate a white person, they taste like chicken meat. Their flesh is like chicken meat. Black people taste like veal. Filet mignon. I'm not being funny either. Those that, I don't know how to explain it. The elites will tell you. The elites will tell y'all this. You have animal and man like animal. You eating, man fall into the same thing like the beef. Arabic people taste like fish. I'm just telling you. Africans taste like goat, lamb, strong shit. Is that too much information? I don't want to know. I know y'all live y'all nice little life where all that meat in the supermarket don't have nothing to do with animals and living life being killed. So, you get my point? I want to disturb that. Live your lie till you're ready to deal with the truth. And it's the same with vegetables and things. I know you have the vegan, but society too. Vegetables is life as well. And so whatever man is eating, he's eating, living life, slaughtering it. Life is a killing field. Man trying to fulfill his hunger and everything else. And so, it's a deep thing. Now, Earth of the world that we're in, like I said, it's a day. Just one day. And a day is a deity. Meaning if you're talking about your body is a deity. The world is the same thing as your body, but we call that a day. So you get my point? A day, a deity, same difference. Micro to macro. Like I said, an egg, earth, our world, a body, all the same thing. And so, that's a day, or a deity, and man is bound to that. So he wakes up, goes to sleep, wakes up, goes to sleep, over and over. Does it so long he starts to get old and wrinkled, still never realizing I'm stuck. What the hell are we doing? He has sex and so many things to distract him. New vagina. So he like, it's not the same. It's the same day. You can do different stuff all you want. Get it? You can wake up in your bathroom and do jumping jacks today. Wake up in there tomorrow and do karate. But at some point you got to realize it don't matter what you do. You still waking up to the same confinement. And everything you keep getting lost on is just distracting you from that one fact. And that one fact being you gotta get out of here. Meaning y'all lost, I gotta live my life to the fullest and end. You gotta get out of here. The fuck are you talking about? Y'all don't agree this is hell. Do y'all see what's happening? It's only gonna get worse. You get it? The deeper you go into the dream, you have to wake up from it. And so, everyone's bound to their body that day. You know that rising, setting sun. This is you going asleep and then waking up. And everybody's bound to the greater day, which is Earth, where you see the sun rise and set just like you do inside of your Earth. And so do you get it? The two are intertwined, meaning awake in the Earth that you see in the wake is connected to the Earth or the unconscious that you feel when you set inside yourself. So you go to sleep and set inside yourself. That Earth. This is why y'all dream sometimes, because it's the same place. Meaning if you wake up while you're set into your vessel, it's Earth too. So if you wake up, you're still on Earth. You just call that dream when that happens. Do you get it? Meaning you have Earth, which is your body, and Earth, which is the world that you're in. Both being the same. When you're awake, you're in the greater body or world, Earth. The greater day. When you set inside your Earth or your day, you're in the lesser day or Earth. But it's still the same from your perspective. A day. They're both intertwined. And so when you go unconscious, you go into this Earth. And sometimes you wake up there. It's the same Earth as the outer. This is why when y'all dream, they ain't no different than physical life. Meaning when you dream, does it not feel like physical life? Do you not have sex there? Do you not find money there? That part. You do everything in dream that you do in physical life. When you wake up in physical life, then you be like, oh, that dream was not real. When you're in dream, you do not think of physical life, meaning it's not real to you. The same way, like when you're here, you're like, oh, that wasn't real. Now, of course, that's more stronger than physical life because when you're in dream, you don't even know to think of physical life. According to your brain, you're there already. That part. Meaning you need to be worried about that dream, which is a reflection of afterlife. Meaning after one dies, dream or afterlife. Only thing with that is it must feel realer because when one is dead, they have no awareness of no other place. When you're awake, you do recollect dream. Like I remember dream, but it ain't real because I'm here. It's like a double thing. If I'm in physical life now, then that other physical one had to be fake. No, same place. Look at it as the substance aspect of the physical, unconscious being the unseen aspect of the substance. That's why you can't see shit there, because there is nothing there. It's just the unseen blueprint or the airs of the manifested waters. The waters becoming the clay or the physical. So unconscious, dream, physical life. It's just like the three layers of one thing. A day. Earth. And this is what you as an awareness, a soul, is bound to. Internally and externally. And so, even when you die, you'll still be bound to that day until you become aware in depth. Hold on. I'm eternally trapped in the coming and going to and from in the earth. Like it says, like God called the angels and the Satan came too, and God said, well, where you come from it? And he said, coming to and fro in the earth. I'll say it again so you grasp, Satan. You keep coming to and fro in the earth. That means you keep waking up and going to sleep. So you have to wake all the way up. It is not good. This is why I tell y'all, Jesus and the Satan is the same thing, different perspective, both being a sacrifice thing. From the perspective of the world, this thing is worshipped. It's the Savior. From the perspective of the thing, fuck all y'all. I hate y'all. You get it? This is where you get devil and God from. The dual nature of one thing are the dual perspective. So of course Lucifer or Satan was the high one, the light, the proud one, cast away. And Jesus is the manifestation of that, meaning the proud one, the one cast away to be crucified. And Jesus say, I was in hell for 3 days, but I came out of it. The devil was cast to the abyss, and in the beginning I saw the Spirit of God hovering over the waters, talking about fuck all that, let there be light, blood. I ain't going out like that. That part. Same entity, different perspective. Y'all lost in the world, so y'all don't understand. And so when you come to know all is one thing, don't worry about the devil and God. All these things got to do with your own self and the finding of that self. And so, y'all worship the devil, like I said. If you say, no, I worship Jesus, well, I just told you they the same thing. A sacrifice. That part. And so the lamb's gonna come back with wrath because of that. Y'all keep saying some shit gonna die for y'all sins. You got to know that ain't fair. And so you got to know that you have life now because you're a sinner. And so when the thing come back, you got hell to pay. See, y'all speaking from the perspective of the fallen and instead of from the perspective of what y'all are, which is the sons of God, are the same thing as this Jesus thing y'all keep talking about. And so, do you get my point? When you grasp that, so there's the darkness. One must overcome it. We're speaking the unconscious mind. So, this is what awakening or becoming enlightened is all about. And very few achieve this. Meaning what I'm explaining to you is coming from an awakened or enlightened soul. You might not never hear no one be able to explain it to you that fluent. And so that's what you strive for. Clarity of mind. Ain't nothing I can explain to you where you get it. It's just a matter if you want to receive it. And that's going to come down to the honor and balance within. So you get my point? There you go. That's why I always tell them I'm divine. But y'all lost however y'all lost. So y'all don't grasp things. But it's a deep thing. Thank you all out too. Joshua Hall. Different angles. Main thing is y'all grasp because I can't be y'all divinity. Only a mirror of what the self can be. You get my point? I can't be y'all brain, y'all divinity. Y'all can be that. You get my point? But you have to remove everything of the world. Even me, meaning don't strive to be wise as me. Strive to be awakened. You get my point? That's what I am. Just completely aware. So you see how I notice everything. I say, man, gangs were started by the government. That's why they got red and blue. Like the red coats and the blue coats back in the day, blood. That's early gang. A fireman in a police department. Anytime you see red and blue, you're talking about America. You're talking about American games. And so y'all fall into all these things. They canceling out parties. That's how you make a people just go against their own self. You put them on sides. You could do this, start this as like games. Kids learn how to play like different kind of games. Fucking Monopoly and shit. But there's always like, they're competing in the game to see who could win. So that's like the precursor to them joining the gang and then canceling each other out. And you got many different forms of these things. Y'all fall into it. You get my point? Gangs, nationalities, so on and so forth. And that y'all can be controlled emotionally. You rise above these things, you can't be controlled. I don't acknowledge nationality because I know that's a government thing that they made up. So that I hate you, nigga, because you a different thing, even though you look similar to me. That part. That's how that works. And so you get my point? You have to overcome these things mentally. Meaning don't let society groom you to think these things are cool. These are the child-minded things that all falls into as a child. You get it? The streets, gangs, these are things you fall into as a child. It keeps you in your child state of mind. Because that's where it starts. And so do you get my point? One never grows into their own. They're always governed by society. Meaning if you in a gang, you don't make your own decisions. Or your own personal decisions can be overridden by society, which is your gang, the group of people. Men have to evolve beyond that. Where there's no group of people, whether religion, gang, this thing or that thing that he wants to impress, where he can just, you get it? Be the truth that he is. These things make y'all do dishonorable things or things y'all may not agree with, but y'all say, I'm down with the gang, and so I'm going to move with the group. You get it? You a Christian, you watch this, you say, damn, Salih's right, but you're bound to the people in your church. If they say, fuck him, you may say it too, even though you know, like, no, he right. In that, you curse the self. You get it? You go with lie because of the world. Overriding your own self. Because according to you, you say, nah, he right. According to the common sense I got, he is right. You'll go against that. Override yourself and the truth in self to hold on to society. Now all the bums in your fucking church ain't funner than me. You get it? But you didn't even think about all of that. You already got them in notice, so when that you say, oh shit, I never thought about that. Like, if I leave the church and those people, then there's new people. That part. Y'all bound to whatever y'all are, just like the gang member, he bound to the gang. You get it? There's a whole life outside that gang way better, but he got to come to grasp that. If he can, and don't die in the process. Because once you become, caught up in these things, they're like quicksand. And you become a Nipsey Hussle. You say, oh, I need to get out, and then you die. Because they own you in their brain. And they're the reason for whatever you are, even if they ain't. And so you have to evolve beyond these things or try to avoid getting caught up in them. Because, you get my point? It goes deep. Now, if y'all have any questions, y'all can ask. So make it your duty to, get out of the worldly things if you have the strength to. Of course, I have the GoFundMe that I set up. I forgot to put it in the description, but that land that I'm going to use as a school, of course, it can be used for things like that. Meaning some of y'all are bound to certain groups and things of society that you went out of, but you're like, I ain't got nowhere to get out of it at. So you can come to, get away from that there. Society ain't going to come there. I'm not really worried about society. Like I said, that's the kid stuff. Nobody coming into my space, period. There ain't even nothing to discuss about it. If your ass a part of society and you want tough time, go that way. You got my belongings, go that way. You get it? Whatever's over here is over here, blood as that. That's how I move. But if you want to give back to the land school, it has to do with us getting our own country eventually. But in the meanwhile, the land will be used as a school to kind of teach the next generation the basics of things so they can start setting up little small cities or villages outside of the cities. Maybe 3-4 hours outside of the cities, we can get like 50 black-owned villages. When I say black-owned, we ain't talking about nothing that got to do with society where you registering this with the state. No, completely separate from society. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's because your ass lost in society. And people from the cities can come learn because y'all live in other people's dreams. When you're living in somebody else's country, you live in their dream and their game. You can live your own dream if that's the case. Meaning you get your own place and then you get it. You live by the rules of nature, however you choose. Try to make sure it's balanced and fair, but living somebody else's dream where you're the slave or the servant in it is not the way. You get my point? And so there needs to be places outside the cities for people that want to live, by the laws of nature. Balance, fairness, so on and so forth. Sharing. Not all the competing stuff, but the working together, the understanding wholeness. And tearing down got to do with sides. Building got to do with the comings together. You get it? And so in society, you got different groups, so you know what you're dealing with. Tear down party. You got to have cities outside of the cities that have to do with wholeness. Not different groups, but whoever's coming into this city, you are part of the whole. The whole family, the village or the city is that. And everybody's needs is attended to, and everybody's emotional state and everything is attended to, so everything be good and clean in the place. So you get it. Some people have their jobs. Meaning in society you have employment. But in life you're supposed to have a job, Something that you just do. Some of y'all help people just naturally. You're a good talker. You're good at raising people's spirits. This is what you're supposed to be doing and being compensated for. Not flipping fucking fries at McDonald's. That part. You got good spirit. You got everybody at McDonald's fucking feeling good. You ain't supposed to be flipping fries there. You're supposed to be in an environment where you can use your good energy to heal people and help to clean them of their bad energy and let them pass on through. And you get it? For some reason you built where negative shit don't disturb your state. And so that's your life work. We don't live in a society where you can come into your own talent or your own gift to life. You kind of throw that to the side to find some negative thing to do. So my teaching, this is my life work. You get it? It's just what I naturally do regardless. If you talk to me, then you just gonna be smart as shit after we done. You get it? In that, That's that man gift in life. He know a lot of shit, and he can give you clarity or solace if you listen and grasp, And so that's what the GoFundMe is for. That's what the SOS program is for. That's the Land and Resource School. Of course, it's gonna be on land. Like I said before, it's to teach people food, clothing, shelter, and utility. So y'all can remove all the debt that the city forces on y'all. This is the unavoidable debt. You got unavoidable debt, access debt, prioritized investments. These is just different things that's explained in the book. Peace and Wisdom, Jimmy Infinity. And so these are things that I put in my book. Prioritized investment is like things that you pay, things that you put your money into, not so that you receive a return, but so you put into something that you're going to be paying on forever. You see how it don't matter if you own your house or whatever you do, you always going to be paying the city a light bill? So prioritized investment will have to do with that. You slowly paying off on having a land outside the city where you could set up your own solar panels and then don't have to pay for no goddamn lights no more. You get it? Because you can't do that in the city. They're going to make you pay a light bill. But outside of it, well, you can set up your own light, your own electricity. And then you don't have to pay that ever again. And so you get it? Prioritized investment. Paying off on something where you're not going to get a return. Or investing money into something where you don't get a financial return, but you're going to get freed from a debt that lasts forever. And so the book explains that. It also explains like access debt. It's like y'all credit card debt, credit score, all of that. And that's basically, debt that gives you access to get in debt. Meaning you live in a backward system. You have to have a good credit score so that you can go in debt. Makes no sense. I go in debt, then I get out of debt, meaning I build my credit score up so that I can go back in debt. Because you're going to use it. A man build his credit up from being a piece of shit to usable so he can use it and he goes right back in debt. This is the stupid circles or cycles that society like to play on its citizens. Dumb games. And so most people do not become aware of these things and say, hold on, I'm living a fucking retard cycle. I go to work, I pay off all my bills, I finally get more money, and what I do, I add it on to my goddamn bills by getting more shit on credit. Now I gotta get more work. Men don't eliminate the cycle and say, hold on, I'm working to pay off bills. Let me eliminate these bills. Then I won't have to work so hard like that. And so you have unavoidable debt. This is that debt like rent, mortgage, light, gas, water. The debts in the city, that's unavoidable. Where you like got the mindset where you like, well, I can't avoid those debts. They just like that. No, they don't. Paying rent and mortgage for 30 years ain't got nothing to do with reality. That's insane. Who the hell is getting credit for 30 years? How you even know what's going to happen in the next 5? So you know that's a setup. Who trusting somebody with that kind of goddamn loan? I ain't about to loan you amount of money that's going to take you 30 years to pay back, blood. I don't even know if I got that much time. But the Babylon, no, we going to be here generational. Don't worry about it, nigga. That shit will pass on to your kids, or we'll just take it back and keep the 29 years of payments that you did make. Shit, you only owed another month, but who cares? We're taking it. That's how your Babylon work. You know, paid up your whole house. You only owe 10,000 more. They'll take it. They wouldn't care for you owe this 10,000. You dead. Are your kids gonna finish these mortgage payments? Cause if they ain't, we gonna repossess the hell out this thing. We gonna foreclose the shit out of it. And we're gonna keep all them payments that you made thus far. That was almost the whole house's worth, but who cares? That's what this business is about. Selling shit and keeping it. That's what you call credit. When you let somebody buy some shit from you knowing I'm gonna keep it. They ain't never gonna be able to finish paying this off. It's taking them too long, right? So I had to refinance on my house. Now you owe double. That part. Your house was 80,000. Now it's 160,000 you paying off. Most people 30-year mortgage turn into 120-year mortgage. Get my point? Refinance on that thing, make it a 60-year. Get my point? They raised the score. Some of y'all young, y'all don't understand refinancing and all of that. But if you own a property like a house and you're paying off on it and payments is good, you fall on a hardship, you can actually borrow against your own house. But it will raise the cost of your house. Let's say you have a $300,000 house, you're paying off on it, so you decide, man, I'm in hardship, I need $100,000. So you borrow against your own mortgage, but you're gonna make your $300,000 house go up to $400,000. Instead of it taking 30 years for you to pay off, maybe it's gonna take you 45 now. And that's how they keep a nigga in debt, because they know if a nigga in debt, a nigga got the slave in this system. And that's how this system work off slavery. If men don't work, then the system crumble. So the system makes sure men got reason to work. It's called debt. And so this is why man gotta conquer his desires, understand certain things I say. Y'all trying to measure up to society. Y'all heaven is in grasping the things I say. Some of y'all hang on y'all project bench about 10, 15 deep. If y'all was on y'all own land, not having to worry about rent, light, and gas, being able to go fish and cook out every day, not having to worry like, oh, we got bills coming in, let's snake one another. That part. Y'all can truly enjoy each other and be, you know, the friend and loving environment that you need, because that's how we grow. You around people that's loving, you loving. No one has hardships because everyone's on the same path. If I'm on a positive path, you on a negative path, we buddies, then you get it. You causing me pain and hurt every time you do some shit to yourself. In that, I can't receive what life got for me. Meaning if you doing good and I'm doing good and we friends, man, you feel me? I feel good knowing that you doing good and you don't need nothing. You get it? And you feel the same. Now imagine if everybody around, like my mother, my sister, my daughter, as far as I know, everybody's doing good. In that, relief. I ain't gotta worry. You get it? And that I can enjoy. They can enjoy. They know like he ain't in the streets doing nothing stupid. That nigga, you get it? He grown now. In that they can relax and enjoy. Now let's say they talking to stupid people in the streets that they gonna interfere with. You get my point? The reality, which is be on a positive path, associate with the positive, get all the sunlight you need. Try to serve two masters, so you know how that's gonna work. And so yeah, there you go, heaven on earth. And so if any of you guys, want to work with me on that GoFund, meaning the land and school thing, I'm gonna need about 5 to 10 people to actually work. Like I said, it's gonna be a section on food, teaching the youth how to grow, but from scratch. You get it? From the seed up, how to mix and merge different seeds and different things, different techniques of growing, everything that has to do with it, from the soil on up. Then there's going to be a section for clothing. This has to do with farming as well, meaning you're taking the plant fibers. That's like when you break a plant and you see the little stringy parts in it. Take those, you spin that in a thread, then that thread is weaved into fabric. This is how you get silk and all the fabrics y'all know of. Different plants make for different materials, meaning the fibers in the different plants all have different material. Banana plant, its fibers feel like silk. You get my point? Of course, the cotton plant, so you get your cotton thread. Of course, you have to spin it. They have spinning jenny machines. Like I said, most youth are, a lot of black people don't know these things. That's that old knowledge. And so you have the fabric industry, $1 billion industry. Mostly Indians is killing that game. We don't even know nothing about that. We clothes designers, but we don't know nothing about starting from the fabric and having our own fabric. There's fabrics that haven't been made because you can mix and merge plant fibers, making new fabrics. So these are the things I want to teach on the land, to the youth and adults, for the purpose of them starting their own small village. For black people and, anyone that grasps that nationality and all that shit is bullshit. And so, like I said, you will learn, how to grow from the scratch or the ground up. You will learn all you need to know about clothing, so therefore one can make their own clothing or sell their own fabric. Like I said, it's $1 billion industry. And there's going to be a section for shelter, teaching you the different kind of trees and the different kind of woods each tree makes. How to build yourself a shelter many different ways using the resources of the land. We talking about the insulation and everything. Because everything y'all buy in the store is made from the resources on the land. That toilet paper that you're using come from resources on the land. That shirt you got on, it come from exactly how I just explained fabric is made. And so if you grasp these things, you can live off your land like a king, wearing and having everything that everybody in the city have, but just a realer version. You get it? Because you don't have to water it down and cut it down, so you can mass produce and sell it. And you just living. You get my point? And that you can eat fresh killed meat. Because if you're eating meat, that's the only way you're supposed to eat it. As soon as it's killed, cook it and eat it then. You don't freeze it and try to save it. And that's how we live in the city. We buying meat that's months old. They just put preserves in it. Basically how they do with a dead body. They embalm it, this preserves it. Well, they have their embalming fluid for food. It's called preserves. And it make old ass 30-day-old meat look regular. Of course, they have to kill the meat, ship it. This takes time before it hits your supermarket. So you get my point? That ain't healthy. And so it's the same with all the fruit, grain, vegetables, all that stuff is fake GMO stuff. And so you want to be out on the land where you can eat fresh, real stuff. But more than that, you get my point? You don't have to live by the morals and the values of the city. And then last is energy or electricity. Teaching one how to dig a well, set up a water system, set up their lights. Meaning you can use many things to generate energy. It doesn't have to be solar panels. You can get one of them metal things that catches air as energy. So if you can generate a charge from a fan, like a spinning fan. You would just have to connect the wires right to catch the energy. Because that's all energy is, like a movement thing. And so generating electricity is There's many ways you can do it. It doesn't have to be done how we do it in the city. It doesn't have to be done with solar panels. Like I said, there's many ways. Water can be used to generate electricity. Like, it's go deep. But these are the things I want to teach on the school, in the school, which is just going to be land. There's going to be structures on it, though, for like, there's going to be an Airbnb section for whoever visits if you want to stay. There'll be a camping section for those of y'all that may not have it like that, but you might have an RV. You might have a car, and you say, I don't mind sleeping in my car. I got a little tent, I could bust that out. So then you could just rent a little space, maybe $10 or something like that. I'd have figured that part out, like the pricing and everything. But in terms of the school part, I want that to be free, where people could just come and, you get it? If you want to spend a night, that's when like price come involved. You want Airbnb us or camp it out or whatever. You get my point? But I want the school to be like where you just pull up. I'm taking a day off from Babylon today. I'm about to go to solid school and shit and kick back. I might fuck around with the building, play around with the wood and, go out there and just fish. I want to eat fresh today. I don't want to be bothered. I want to walk around, half naked and shit. In Babylon, you always got to look your best. Sometimes you want, to be naked. But you can't do that in Babylon. You'll get raped. But, section for you to just be by yourself for a moment. So I want the land for like that. Little areas where y'all need a alone time. You say, I want to be nude. I need to be nude. I ain't never been nude outside before and have my feet touch the soil and shit like that, man. Like that. Like a sense of freedom. Of course, everybody has to, have a certain energy. You can't be coming there all fucking hyped up and crazy. But a good place. I want to have a meditation section where, you can go and read, sit in a little place and kind of read and do the meditation that's being explained on whatever you read, and then have different levels. Like I said yesterday, there's meditation where you're, trying to push past, push your awareness beyond the vessel, because y'all can hear beyond y'all body. You get it? And so it's the same with the smelling. Y'all can smell beyond y'all body. This is y'all senses. Man don't grasp his eyes as a sense, or him seeing is one of his senses. And just like the rest, it goes beyond the vessel. You get my point? Meaning y'all can see clearer and further. Y'all can see on a mental level clearer than when y'all open y'all eyes and look, but the mind isn't groomed to grasp its senses. You get it? It's like training wheels. Y'all used to looking with your eyes. And that, if I take off the training wheels and say just see, then y'all can't. You say, I can't fucking see through my eyelids. Yes, you can. You already seen everything. You get it? It's nothing new under the sun. You've seen everything. But more than that, you can see beyond eyes. You get my point? I don't know how to explain it, but seeing our awareness is a deeper thing than y'all grasp. Y'all sense of smell, sense of hearing, all of these are extensions of this thing called seeing. When y'all smell something, the image pops in the mind. Ooh, that's cake. You get it? You hear somebody's voice, it's familiar, you know who that is. Meaning it's like seeing. That part. They're all extensions of a seeing. Meaning all the senses is just one sense. Awareness or seeing. Nothing else. Your sense of touch helps you to see. You get my point? You hear your mama's voice. A face pop in your mind. It's all for imagery or to see. Every sense you got. You may have heard that all the senses is this thing or that thing. Like I said, everybody lost in society don't know what they're talking about. But you know the words I just said is truth. That part. Your smelling ain't got nothing to do with you hearing and shit. It all have to do with you perceiving, like seeing, like knowing. If you're familiar with the smell, it helps your perception. I know what that is. These are aspects of self that y'all use that have nothing to do with the eyes. It helps you to see in the mind space. You get my point? Y'all don't have to see the cake. Y'all can smell it and image it in your mind, open your eyes, and it look just like you imagine. Because you already know. Now imagine if you can heighten that to where you can literally see with your smell and with your sound on your ears. You can see with the eyes closed. As long as the mind is conscious, you can see. So there's many aspects of life man has not evolved to, but it's because of the city. And so we got to get out the city for a little while, a long while, but you get my point? A start is a start. And so I want to get to school for that, meaning the school on land. That's pretty much the idea. Hopefully over the next century, you know, the people that come there, they leave with a good knowing of something. Some of y'all may merge together and build little villages outside of society. You get my point? And then people from society can come visit there, see that way of life. It may help to change them. They may become a citizen in your village. You get my point? But if there's like 50, 60 black-owned towns outside of the cities, this is good. All moving like one. All starting at that SOS school, you know, the School of Solace. Branching out, all having the same understanding and the same purpose, which is to live. Don't waste your life here working it away, selling your time, but actually living. Being able to experience love. Because in the daytime, we can't experience love. You have too many bills and debt. Love to y'all is whoever can share the debt. In that, y'all pick spouses and shit that got to do with that. Y'all ain't really going for y'all love. Y'all kind of going for society. There's a motherfucker you like right now, but they might not be cool in society, so then there's your happiness down the drain, because you're going to pick the loser in society that's giving you stress. Meaning everybody lost into society stresses everybody out. Meaning they own selves and they know it, but they just can't help it. They attached. But in their mind, they like, oh my God, they get on my nerves. They're so shallow. But you're shallow too in moments, so, but you don't pay yourself no mind in society. Just what other people are. You get it? And so like that. You have to reach a place of truth where you understand this is all bullshit. It's a never-ending cycle. It's like that never-ending day I wake up to. A bunch of dumb shit I do in it, but I ain't never moving forward in life. I'm just stuck to this one day. And so when y'all can remove like weeks, months, years, time itself from y'all mind, then y'all can live. You get it? Then you can get past the one day you bound to. Having life, which ain't got nothing to do with a day. You get it? It goes deep, but these are things y'all have to learn, you know, in person on the land, like I said. So if anybody wants to give back or donate towards that, I have the GoFundMe up on my community section of the channel, but I'm gonna add it to this video when I'm done, and y'all can give back over time. I'm gonna leave it up for however long till they get raised, and then I'll get the land and everything that's needed to get it started. Like I said, I'm gonna need like 5-10 of y'all, but of course y'all will need to come in, you know, in the beginnings, helping with the raising of the money and all of that. And then if you were growing, you like, I want to work that growing section. I know a lot about growing, like that. Each section, you know, the growing part, the shelter part, the clothing part. I don't want to do that. I'm here. I'm gonna be there for the real shit, like the mental and the emotional things. But I will do those things until, you know, somebody can fulfill it. But there needs to be teachers for each section, you know. That's teaching the people that's coming. And of course, whoever's working there, there'll be a section, for those of us that teach and work there. That don't mean you stuck on the land. You come and go as you choose. I ain't got nothing to do with you. But your duties is your duties. From there, you work, you make your money, serve your purpose. You get my point? If you're doing the fabric part, so you're teaching the people how to farm their own fabric, basically. Finding what plant, teaching them which plant fibers make which fabrics, and then from there they can figure out what fabrics they like, and then start harvesting those plants, and then learning how to turn it over into fabric, and then clothing, and then, they can sell that clothing online, being someone who makes the clothing from scratch. There's many ways, to generate revenue. Not to say you'll need it, then you'll still be a part of Babylon. You just come in there to learn, to get the hell out of there. But you get my point? There's a lot that can be done. So we just have to have the accurate wisdom. And so, like I said, if you want to be a part of it, you have to email upscaleknowledge@gmail.com. If you want to help me with raising it, or if you want to, or you can, if you want to help me raise the money, or if you want to, teach there and shit like that. Email upscaleknowledge@gmail.com. I definitely need the help. I can't do all that dolo. So I hope y'all don't think I can. And those that want to be a part, I'll fill you out on the whole thing, because I have it written down. It's a business thing, but the school part isn't so much. But I got businesses set up around it to kind of keep the school going, because unless people gonna come out and do the building themselves, because there needs to be structures up, meaning each section has to have a building for people to go inside. You get my point? That's just common sense. That's just common goddamn sense. It don't matter if you growing and learning how to grow. There still needs to be a building set up where y'all can go in and regroup. And you get my point? And so that's going to cost way more than what I put up to raise. But what I put up to raise is enough for the land, to get electricity and water on it, and, get it started. I'll build some of the structures myself. Maybe I can get some help. Figure it out as we go. And whatever the business aspects of the land is, I can, generate more money that way and put it back into the school part, like building what's needed for there. So if you want to be a part, like I said, you can email upscaleknowledge@gmail.com. And I'll give you the whole breakdown. Of course, I live on balance and honor. That's fair and honest. And so make sure you're there. I don't deal with scams. You get my point? We get desperate and then we be doing dumb shit. I'm past that place in my life. Ain't nothing I'm desperate about. Ain't nothing that's needed. You get my point? I don't need this school to go. Ain't no corners need to be cut. Nothing. Everything's fine. If it can happen, this is beautiful. If not, you get my point? No cutting corner shit. No negative energy added on nothing. I don't want nothing to do with that. Just keep everything. Like I said, I live balance and honor. If you need something, if you need a God, use that for now. Whatever you do and whatever you thinking, make sure it's fair and honest. And whatever somebody telling you, you make sure it's honest. Not no believe me, but let me see the proof. I need to know everything honestly. And if it ain't measuring up to that, you got to get that out of here. If you ain't talking fair, I can't. You get it? Unfairness bring for like weird shit. You keep everything fair, everything be good, everybody, nobody feel used or abused. And so if you can grasp that simple thing, we'll be good together, like working, because I'm simple like that. Handle your handle, I got my side. Make sure everybody fair and shit and ain't nobody getting abused. Life be good from there, you know? And that's how I live. I kind of try to keep whoever's a predator, whoever's prey, whatever don't serve the horizon, that's the balance. I'm good. I already know what that brings, you know? Imbalance. And so I've done enough imbalanced things and I've suffered from them things and now I'm good. I want to keep it that way. And so a lot of you guys have to get there and you will when you do. Now if y'all have any questions y'all can ask. I'm about to depart. Like I said, if you want to give back or donate towards the school I'm trying to start, which is land, you can, I'll put the link up in the description of this video, but in the meanwhile you can go to the community section of my channel, skim down maybe 3 or 4 posts and you should see it. You can click it, read through it. If it seems like something that you think is positive, like I said, it's about, you know, the generations to come. I'm quite sure in the next 20 years or so, well, I'm quite sure in the next 5 years or so, ain't nobody gonna start no city, a real one like I'm speaking of. But I figure after about 5 years, 10 years of the school being open and people coming, then you're gonna start to see like maybe one here. Then over the next 50 years, there may be a bunch. You get it? So, duties fulfilled. Y'all have freedom. Y'all have a mind to grasp. Keep it pure. If you dirty it up, you got to live in that dirt. Meaning if you dirty the morals up and the values up, then you got to live that disorder and that not knowing again. And being in that state where you like, I don't really know what's going on. Or what's really what. And so, it's a deep thing, try and grasp. Peace and wisdom all out. If anyone comes at the truth, then comes at me. Leave the wise one alone. I don't think anyone's bothering me. I don't have to do that. If you know of anyone bothering me or doing something, you bring it to my attention. In terms of anybody bothering me, don't nobody come close to me to play with me. Whatever problems I got, it got to do with over there, I was supposed. Meaning shit I wouldn't know about unless you brought it to my attention. And so I don't know if you just saying that. Like, you get it my point? To just say it. Like, if anybody's bothering Solace, I don't deal with all that weak kind of talk. If you know of something, you bring it to my attention like a grown man or a grown woman. If you just speaking in vain, you ain't got to do that here. Please don't take offense. Thank you. That's all I expected you to do. Just be clear. So you said, nah, I was just saying it. Yeah, you don't have to never do that. You get my point? It's like you thinking or guessing for something negative. Like I said, and nobody play with me. I don't know why you would think. You've been seeing me long enough. You get my point? Snap out of dumb. I go live physically. That part. Let reality start to sink in your mind. And kind of grasp. You get my point? Whatever y'all talking about and whatever problems y'all have in life, I'm way past that. Like I said, then nobody gonna, it's not even a thought in my mind that somebody gonna, you get my point? You do what you do, but keep that goofy shit over there. And my point, I don't know how to explain it, but everything's good on my end. I'm big on the negativity too much, you get my point. Try to keep everything positive. You ain't got to like worry. In regards to me, that's negative energy. I ain't worried. I don't know why I would need to be. But like I said, if you know something I don't, then you bring it to my attention. Other than that, you never got to just say something just to say it. Spark thoughts in my mind. You got me thinking now, like, who playing with me that I need to like do nothing to, but explain to them, stop. You feel me? Cut it out. That's not even important. But try and grasp. Now I'm going to depart. Hopefully you all grasp. Try to keep the emotional state, try to stay on top of that. Keep yourself in a good emotional state. Anything you see disturbing it, move yourself. Don't abuse yourself. It's no point. Discern the difference between positive and negative. Sometimes you can be negative and positive's gonna feel like that to you. You breaking the law, doing something wrong, and somebody riding you because of that, then you like they negative. But you get it? You would be right, because there is a way to do everything where it ain't taken that much. But when you on your negative path, positivity can be quite disturbing. You get it? And vice versa. And so you want to make sure you on the right side of things. Therefore, like, I'm positive. So if something's negative, you don't want to be negative yourself, and then you mistaking positivity for negativity because it ain't blending where you at. You get it? You want to make sure you right in your way, so you like, all right, I don't need that. That ain't gonna work. As you practice makes perfect. So you'll find your way, like I said. I didn't get this way overnight. And you get my point? And the path's never ending. So every step I take forward, it just make the path a step longer. But this is good. And that I know I can grow eternally. You get my point? And I can become wiser and wiser. And there's no limit or end. As long as I stay on the path and stay on track, I can get wiser and wiser, better and better, more perfect in my way. That's my goal. Be a perfect mind, perfect emotionally, meaning where y'all can come here and leave here feeling happy. I'm getting there. I ain't there yet. I'm sure some of y'all come here and leave here feel like shit. But you get it? The goal is for the mind. The wisdom's already there, but to be a light for y'all, positive one. When y'all come here, y'all feel good when y'all leave. You got the energy to do good, and keep everything going, as well as getting your mind filled up with what you need. And so that's like my goal. I got the wisdom. I already perfected that, but you want to perfect everything. You get it? That's what I live. Self-perfection. You start where you start until you clean and clear everything completely up. And then you just stand in your glory and you be. You get it? That glory. And it's a beautiful thing and a beautiful feeling. And you reap the benefits of these feelings and things as you go. It's not like religion where you get heaven after you die, but you will be rewarded as you walk the path, getting pieces of the glory that's at the end as you go. Get better and better. It's like wine. You start aging like wine, and then you get better as you go. You may even start to look younger as you go. The emotional state, it controls all that. So he said, facts. I'm almost there too. You far from where I am, champ. But shalom, shalom. I guess it starts with the mind, but you want to keep the ego down, You far. Like I said, the path gets longer with each step. So you speaking like you get it, some finish line thing. You get the mind adjusted. You'll grasp what I'm saying. Yeah, instability always lurking, but it's not like a job. There's nothing I need to do to stay on track. Just like there's nothing y'all need to do to stay on the vibration y'all on. Motherfucker selling dope, shooting niggas. There's nothing he needs to think about to be dishonorable. It's just his natural vibration. No thought needed. Same with me. I've been on the path I'm on so long. If you say some shit that ain't true, you're gonna disturb me. I don't even have to think about it. You get it? If you doing something that's like negative, you nitpicking, you trying to change the narrative of the storyline, I see you trying to manipulate, and I don't have to think and catch nothing. It's just my natural vibration. Get out of here with that. Like that. It's just in my natural nature to be honorable, meaning to do whatever's honest and whatever's fair. I don't have to think on that. I've been doing that long enough now. Well, it's just a part of me. You get my point? I don't have to think on it. There was a time where I had to be like, what's fair? You get it? Is this right? Knowing, but like, fuck that. Let me see how I can alter this thing. How can I alter this to do what I want truly? Just coming to terms with things. Like, my glory is there. And all that other shit is just making the path longer. Or my getting to the path longer. Once you on the path, so you get my point. Start your shedding of the past. There you go, unknown concept. Some of y'all are grasping. Some of y'all will grasp when y'all do. Some of y'all grasp a little bit. You gotta stretch that grasp out. But enjoy y'all evening. Wazoo Seer here. Salam, shalom.